We look alike, Mickey. That's true, Tricky, but we're actually different, just like homophones in English. A homophone is a word that is pronounced the same as another word but differs in meaning. Both the words could have the same spelling, like rose as in a flower and rose as in got up, or can be spelt differently, as in wait and wait. Let's see some examples. Are and are. Are, a verb, a form of the verb be family indicating a state of being. For example, you are such wonderful students. There are 5 ducks swimming around the pond. Are, a possessive pronoun belonging to us. For example, our pineapples are the best in town. Let's see when we use are and are together. Are you going to join our dance? Hear and hear. Hear is a verb to perceive a sound with the ear. For example, do you even hear what I'm saying? I feel that you're not listening to me. Here is an adverb, which means in this place, in this spot or location. For example, put the book here on the shelf, please. Let's use here and here together. Come here so I can hear what you're saying better. Hole and hole. Hole is a noun which means a small opening in something or a gap. For example, there is a hole in this container and all my soup is leaking out. Whole is an adjective which means undivided, in one piece or complete. For example, tell me the whole story. Let's use whole and hole together. Can we push the whole bag through that narrow hole in the window? Patience and patience. Patience is a noun which means the quality of being patient. For example, I have a lot of patience when it comes to noisy 7th graders. Patients, which is a plural noun, means people under the care of a doctor. The doctor saw 4 patients today who all had fever. Let's use patience and patience together. The doctor has a lot of patience even with the complaints of his patients. Peace and peace. Peace is a noun, a state of harmony between people or groups. For example, we are hoping for peace in the world so that nations stop fighting. Piece, which is a common noun, means a small, separate portion of something. For example, I can't eat the whole cake. Just give me a little piece, please. Now let's use them together. All I wanted was some peace and quiet, but what I also got was this piece of cake. Plain and plain. Plain, which is an adjective, means simple, without decoration or adornment, obvious and apparent. For example, her room is decorated in a very plain manner without any pictures or posters. Plane, the noun, means an airplane or a flat surface. For example, I flew in a plane for the first time today. Let's use them together. What are all these knobs and levers? I thought this plane was going to be a plain, simple aircraft. Wait and wait. Wait is a verb which means to be available or in readiness. For example, she waits for the bus at the end of her street every morning. Weight is a noun that means the amount of heaviness of an object. The weight of this book is about 2 kilograms. Let's see how we can use them together. Let's wait until we are outside the Earth's orbit when we won't have any weight. Then we can float around the spaceship. Weather and weather. Weather is a noun which means the state of the atmosphere as it applies to wind, temperature, cloudiness, moisture, pressure, etc. I hope the weather is beautiful for our picnic. I want it to be sunny and warm. Whether, the conjunction, is used to introduce a question presenting alternatives, usually with the word or. For example, I can't decide whether or not I want to wear a skirt to school today. Whether and whether are used together like this. Let's check to see whether the weather is nice enough to go outside. Sale and sale. Sale means the act of selling. For example, the sale of t-shirts is on in Big Bazaar. Whereas sail means to move over water. The boat was ready to sail. Let's use sail and sail together. The boat was put on sale because he could no longer sail it in the river. Right and right. Right means a direction, or it also means correct. You need to take a right turn on this road to reach the market. Right also means forming letters on a paper. For example, write neatly. Let's use right and right together. This is the right way to write a letter. Principal and principal. Principal with an A means the head of an institution. For example, our principal is a popular man. Principle when written with an E means a standard of good behavior. For example, Gandhiji's principle of non-violence is admired by the world. Let's use them together. Our school principal is a man of principles. Seam and seam. A seam is a sewn joint in a garment. For example, the seams in this cardigan are so neat. Seem with a double E means to give an impression of something. They seem to be confused. Let's use seam and seam together. The seam of this jacket seems to have torn. Sight and sight. Sight is the act of seeing. For example, our sight is such a precious gift of God. Site means a location. For example, this is the site of the accident. Let's use sight and sight together. The sight of the playground site adjoining our school filled us with joy. Some and some. Some means an unspecified amount. For example, some books in this shop are sold at half rate. Whereas some with a U means an arithmetic problem. For example, the sum was too difficult for me to solve. Let's use some and some together. Some sums in this question paper carry 5 marks each. Stair and stair. Stair with an AI means a set of steps in a building. For example, he has wooden stairs in his house. Whereas stare with an ARE means to look at something or someone fixedly. For example, it is rude to stare at crippled people. Let's use stare and stare together. She stared in confusion when she could find no stairs in the corridor. Stationary and stationery. Stationery, when spelt with an A, means something that is not moving. For example, the stationery van outside the bank made the policeman suspicious. Stationery, when written with an E, means writing material, paper, pens, etc. For example, we need more stationery for the office. Let's use them together. They managed to load all the cartons of stationery into the stationery truck in time. Tale and tale. A tale can mean a story. Children love to read fairy tales. Whereas a tail is a long body part of an animal. For example, the dog wagged his tail when he saw us. Let's use tail and tail together. The teacher told them the tale of why gorillas have no tail. Now let's try working out the homophones using these tricky clues. Something to protect our feet sounds like a fruit. A pair of shoes and a pear. A room in a prison sounds exactly like to exchange something for money. Sell and sell. Not strong sounds like the name for 7 days together. Week and week. To look sounds like the ocean. See and see. An animal sounds like something that grows on your head. Hair and hair. A baking ingredient is found in the garden. Flour and flour. After sunset sounds like a brave warrior. Night and night. A painful wound sounds like a tool. Saw and saw. A beloved person sounds like an animal. Dear and dear. A boy who sounds like a heavenly body. Sun and sun. Swallowed sounds like a number. 8 and 8.